Wonderflow supports companies that want to make sense of their internal customer feedback data, such as the ones coming from their support center, like email, call, and chat, outbound surveys/interviews, and inbound channels like web/app widgets. In this dashboard, we can see an example of data from a delivery service provider. They collected feedback internally and uploaded it to the Wonderboard to be analyzed. Each card for this example represents a feedback channel including chat, key client interviews, net promoter interviews, top management, contact program, and website feedback. Specifically looking at KPI, this data includes feedback shared by customers when inquired on their recommendation score of the delivery service. If we want to explain the analysis of these feedback records, we can click on the card. Here, on the first page, you can see a recap of the metadata attached to the feedback, like the rating, the countries it's coming from, etc. Let's now jump into the qualitative part of the analysis. Let's see what these customers are really talking about. This is called the pros and cons. Here we can immediately see the topics of conversation between the customers and operators. These topics are extracted from the text using advanced natural language processing technology. This is the very first layer of the analysis called Level 1. It is a macro visualization of how the service is performing. The green bars represent positive sentiment and the red bars represent negative sentiment, which provides a general overview of the performance. If you are looking to discover where the real issues are, you can start digging into the topics with the long red bars. In this case, operation. Operation, for example, is divided into more specific topics such as delivery, courier, pickup, customs, clearance, etc. Here we see that delivery has the highest percentage of negative mentions, so let's deep dive into this. We immediately see that people complain the most about the quality of the delivery and transit time. This is something our logistic manager would definitely need to pick up. You can also interact with the data by creating custom segments using filters such as the rating or the touchpoint reference. Our motto at Wonderflow is seeing is believing. That is why we allow you to go down deep into the heart of the data. By clicking on the bar, we can see specific customer quotes on that topic. Here we can read the voice of the customer. We see the wording and expressions that they have used to describe the issue with transit time. What we learned here can be very useful to kickstart an action to improve the transit time and quality of our delivery. Before doing that, however, we want to check if the issue with the time transit, albeit being the most mentioned negative topic, is also the most important. In other words, we are looking to see if improving the transit time and delivery quality of our service will drive up our customer global net promoter score. While the pros and cons tell us what people are praising, complaining, and questioning, this other section called relevance will tell us which topics impact our net promoter score the most. We see here in the level 3 analysis that transit time and delivery quality are the two most relevant topics. Consequently, if we go for corrective actions on the delivery quality and transit time, it means we will consistently decrease the number of detractors of our delivery service. If you want to measure the effects of these actions, you can head to the trend analysis section, where we see that when our logistic manager worked to decrease the transit time, the number of promoters of the service has increased. Moving on to another category, we can also deep dive into the chat, for example. Here we see both red and gray bars. As mentioned previously, the red bars represent negative sentiment, but here the gray bars represent questions in the contact center about a certain topic. You see mostly red and gray bars because, as this is a contact center analysis, customers mostly reach out if either they have a question or a complaint. So when you see a large gray bar, it means that there are a lot of questions and we could improve our communication. If we improve our support on this topic, customers will have less reasons to ask questions. This data is therefore useful as our goal is to decrease the number of unnecessary interactions with the contact center to ultimately decrease the cost of customer handling of the contact center. In other words, this data assists in increasing the efficiency of our customer service. For example, here we have a large amount of questions for operations. As before, we click on the bar and we see that it largely comes from delivery. So we click on delivery and we can see that a large amount of questions come in relation to the delivery time frame. This means that customers have too little information on the delivery timeframes, and if we could improve our communication about the timeframes, we could have a potential decrease on the number of questions in relation to this topic. This also relates to then a decrease in costs in our customer support handling. You can also run an analysis on the feedback coming from multiple sources using the grouping function, and then accessing the analysis. This allows for you to cluster feedback coming from different sources, say for the whole brand, and therefore gain more high-level insights. And last but not least, you can compare different feedback sources such as 2 different types of interviews or emails and chat to see which one performs better in a specific KPI. As you can see, in just a few clicks we showed you how you can effectively browse consumer feedback and quickly learn crucial insights that can be used to improve your service and make your customers happier. Thank you for watching.